Welcome. You're tuned into the Living in Rhythm podcast, where we wax philosophy and experience and the art and science of living in rhythm. I'm Sister Sunday, and I came here to let my soul shine. It's a lifestyle, you know what I'm saying? I hope you're feeling this lion energy, because I am definitely feeling this lion energy. It is so powerful. It's invigorating, and it's full of like power and prowess, efficiency. And all I know is with a little faith, fortitude, and a little brave heart and conviction, we can overcome our fears. And we got to prove it, y'all. We have to prove it. This is not the time to give up. And plus, I know we'll never give it up. So yeah, it's the rise of the electric lady. That's what I'm thinking. When I look at the astrology, it is the rise of the electric lady land. If you listen to Jimi Hendrix, you know what I'm talking about. Check that album and that song. Have you ever been? Have you ever been? Because I feel like we haven't actually ever been to this place in the astrology. It's really intense with the Venus retrograde conjunct the sun. As I record this episode, we're at this Cazimi, and frankly, I've been taking it for myself, and it feels really, really good. And I hope you're enjoying it too. This Venusian energy retrograding. We're getting a lot of information around that, so I want to dive a little deep around that. I want to get into this electric energy of Uranus squaring the new moon in Leo. So the sun and the moon and Venus are all in Leo. They're squaring Uranus. And the other really cosmic thing that's happening is the sun is conjuncting Black Moon Lilith as well. And so again, like it's hitting on this feminine energy that's coming through, that we're healing some of this energy around receptivity and desire and passion on a feminine level. Our ability to receive, to become fulfilled with the masculine energy and the light and the power. So, you know, I want to talk about it. And it's all beautiful. And I just want to say this too, that when I talk about masculine and feminine, it's the energetic essence. It has nothing to do with sex and gender. We all have this within us. So that's important when we study the astrology and the archetypes. So I'm going to get into that a little bit. It's the 7th Hermetic principle. But before we do any of that, you know what we got to do? It's time to tune in. And so as you inhale and exhale in your own timing, just grounding yourself in this present moment so that you can catch the energy, the feedback, and the message of this moment in time and space. We want to become extrasensory. That's the Aquarian age practice, is becoming extrasensory with a strong nervous system, a clear mind, and a loving, open heart and mind. It's time. And, so these first few moments of every session, of every episode, it's my highest intention for us to just take a moment to feel into our own center of gravity. So in your rhythmic breathing, in your own timing, feel the anchoring energy of your center. In opposition to that, feel the polar opposition of the rise, the expanded nature, pulling out and away from that rooted vibration, that rooted presence, and then allowing it to spread out in all directions of your field, front, back, right, left, up, down, diagonals, in the toroidal field. As you do this, you'll start to feel that centeredness, that center of your gravitational field. And through that, hopefully you start to feel the rhythmic pulse, the rhythmic energy of your heart center. And as we tune into that heart-centered gravitational field of our own, it's so unique to each and every one of us, We can regulate our system, we can calm our nervous system, and then we can tune in to the extrasensory field, to the field itself. This is really a feminine receptivity practice. The anchoring, grounding, rootedness is a masculine penetrative energy. And the thing that I really think is important for us to all come around to is that balancing of this masculine and feminine energy within ourselves, that we have the ability to give, penetrate, project, masculinity, assert, and the ability to receive, to tune in, to observe and sense and feel. And so when I'm looking at the astrology of the now and the presence of the now, the collective vibration of the now, it is more and more obvious to me than ever to find my center of gravity, hold my own rhythmic heartbeat, almost like a Nyabingi drum in the reggae. I always come back to that reggae heartbeat, but that heartbeat, that rhythm that's yours, and I have one that's mine, and each of us has our own vibrational heartbeat pulse that we are creating. And we want to get to know that. We want to get to come into center, to calibrate it. It's our core vibration. It's our baseline. It's so good. So this core calibration really tunes us in, again, to the field, to our center of gravity and the field that surrounds us. And by doing this, we're developing this practice around tuning into the rootedness of being able to penetrate and focus and organize energy, and the ability to open up and receive, absorb, and take in energy. This beautiful balance of both is necessary in this time. And so it reminds me of this when we have a sun and a moon conjunction, which is a new moon. When the sun and the moon come together, that's called a conjunction. It's a new moon when the moon is dark. So usually when the moon is seen in the sky, that's because the solar light is reflecting upon it. But as the sun and the moon come together in the sky, we can't see the moon. This is what happens because you're not supposed to look directly at the sun. Do not, especially, unless you have really, really seriously certified goggles, certified. Anyway, the point is like when planets and stars and the moon are near the sun, where there's no seeing it. And that's part of this Venus retrograde, which we'll get into. But a new moon shows this. This is the thing. It's a conjunction with the sun. So we have a solar conjunction once a month. So when people talk about things conjuncting the sun, it's like a new moon in a way, but it's relative or relevant to that particular planet, celestial body, asteroid. In particular, again, the moon. It happens once a month when the sun and the moon come together on the same side of the earth. And the moon is always going to be in front of the sun from the earth's perspective. That's what makes the eclipses. This is what's so unique and beautiful, is why our moon is the exact same size as the sun is debatable. But I'm not here to debate that right now, because we're just talking about living in rhythm and tuning into these rhythmic forces that, regardless of whatever they are, whatever they stem from, it is, as I say so many times, understanding the rhythm of the sun, the rhythm of the moon from our Earth's perspective, and then we tune ourselves into it. That's like the best we can do, as far as like harmonizing with our environment. And so, one of the most powerful ways is to tune into the lunar cycles and to tune into the seasons. And so again, this new moon shows up all the time. The new moon is like the winter solstice. Things are dark. We can't see fully the light. There's not a lot of light around. But we can feel and we can sense. And that's a powerful time when it is a proven fact that when one sense is deprivated, that another sense is activated, even more amplified. Now, in my opinion, humanity is tuning into this position where we're starting to get more extrasensory in general as a human race. But this requires, again, this balancing act of being able to project and penetrate the field in a masculine way, but to also receive and feel and tune into on a whole nother level, an extrasensory level. And so, again, all of us have this capability, both. And it's, in my opinion, it's our responsibility right now to be developing this. And one of the best ways is to tune into these new moons. If you tune into yourself, you may observe that you are dominant in one versus the other. More penetrative, more assertive, more engaged, or more receptive and observant. More of a witness. Now, again, we want to find a balance between the two. And again, this is where the new moon kicks in, because the moon is the sun and the moon coming together. The solar energy is that penetrative masculine force that's shining and projecting and highlighting its light. The moon is simply reflecting that light. It's receptive to it. It's more feminine. And if you just think about conception, this is the same thing. It's like penetrative versus receptive. Like you have to be receptive in order to receive. Okay, so in so many ways, this is the whole thing. In so many ways, it could be as small as as birth, or it can be as subtle as an intention, a prayer. If you put a prayer out there, if you project it into the field, you have to be receptive to receive, to be able to bring the energy back. It's energy. You give the energy, receive the energy. You put it out there, you open yourself up to receive. Okay, so new moon in Leo is a very empowering time. This new moon that's coming up is on August 16th at 3:39 a.m. Mountain Time. And it's a new moon happening at 23 degrees Leo. The sun and the moon are both at 23 degrees Leo. And at the same time with this new moon, we've got it conjunct Venus. We've also got it conjunct the black moon Lilith. We also have it squaring Uranus. And there's so much of this moon that's reminiscent of the total solar eclipse that occurred in 2017 at 28 degrees Leo. North node was 24 degrees. And it was trine Uranus at 28 degrees. So there's so much happening at the same, there's a lot of things that are stories that are basically waxing or growing into or we're leaning into, penetrating into more from that moment in time. And it's time to reassess and receive some of the feedback so that we can push a little further or pull back. That's what's powerful about these times, these squares. We'll get into that, but the thing that's so beautiful is, I just want to reiterate this, is as I record this session, it is the Venus conjunct Sun, which is called a Cazimi, and Venus is retrograde in Leo, the Sun is in Leo. The Cazimi is considered like a kiss, where the planet kisses the sun. We've had a Venusian Cazimi, we have Jupiter Cazimis, we have, the Cazimis are really interesting too, because sometimes they're in the front of the sun and sometimes they're behind the sun from our viewpoint from Earth. Now, most of them happen behind the sun, and this one is happening behind the sun. But I will tell you that I did witness, with the proper vision protection, I did witness the Venusian Cazimi where Venus transitioned in front of the sun, in front of it, from Earth's perspective. So basically traveled between the Earth and the sun. In 2012, this occurred. It was during a Gemini season. It was so powerful. It's awestruck. And so as you come into your own relationship with these, again, which is why I take these serious and for my own observation and correlation, for my own study and research. I'm not here to tell you how to experience these transits. So basically, it's important for me to have my own experience with some of these transits, which is why I'm bringing up the 2012 thing, because I had my own personal experience with that. I wasn't trying to share it with anybody else or like put it on social media or put it in a podcast and give everybody warning to like tune in and make it a ritual, celebrative thing. Although these things are cool when we acknowledge and alert one another, but it's becoming a little like, ugh, it's becoming a little something that I'm not happy with. I don't want to participate in that. It's not the way I look at astrology. It's not the way I use this tool. I use this tool to live in rhythm and be in harmony, to be present, not to project. And that's the balance of understanding projection versus receptivity. I would like to receive the feedback of this moment in time and space and share my experience and maybe interact with you in the same light, in the same light. I would love for you to have your own experience, to receive your own feedback, make your own observations and correlations, come to terms with it, and then share it with me. That's the way I want to, this is the Aquarian way. That's an Aquarian way. It is not this telling everybody what to do, how to do it, and when's the best time, and what time, and one place, and this and that. Like, everybody's great where they are. The only thing we have to do is be ourselves where we are, right here, right now, and being present and heart-centered and open and receptive so that we know when to act, so that we can take action when it's appropriate. And that's the balance of understanding receptivity and projection or action. You see? So new moons give us this feedback once a month. The new moon waning, if you're a surfer or if you are a fisherman, if you study the water, if you live off the water, you know this. You know about the waxing and the waning of the tides. High tide, low tide. When the tide is high, bigger waves, more movement, more energy. Swells grow. When the moon is waning, going towards the new moon, it's low tide. The water recedes. Less action. It's a calming effect. So understanding this wax and wane, this masculine and feminine energy at any given point in time and space is back to this finding our cosmic bearings. You can use this wax and wane to accelerate or decelerate or hold steady. It's like we're flying spaceships, y'all. You got your very own Merkava spaceship, and so do I. I got my own. But this is my point of why I want to share this work and why I'm doing this in the first place is like it's been profound for me. I've had an experience with this study and this lifestyle of tuning into these rhythmic waves, these rhythmic patterns, and aligning myself in a harmonic way so that I can maximize the energy, the flow of the energy. It's as simple as that. You want to lean in when it's good waxing energy. It's not time to double down and accelerate when the energy's waning so low. Although, again, it's a fine line. Where's that edge? When you're present and in tune, you'll know, you'll feel it. And so this new moon, gosh, it's like, it's bringing up so much of this. It's bringing up this energy for me of just the willpower to go. It's a little bit of that North Node Aries, but it's so much Leo. It's the lion, the lioness. Like Leo energy is powerful and creative. It's full-hearted, like freestyle, full-hearted, like I've got something to work with. I'm going to take it. I'm going to go with it. They achieve. They're really living and they're being themselves more, like they are really at a whole next level of the embodied fire from that Aries energy. And frankly, that living, that lion energy, that regal leadership energy is the living example energy. It's like if we could all come lion-hearted, like brave-hearted, pure-hearted, authentic, grounded, and radiant at the same time. We would all be living examples, and we would really help one another. That lion energy of being creative and regal and driven and focused and powerful and inspiring. Like this energy is fun and playful. And if you know Leos, you know they're like some of the most playful, creative. They're the funnest people in the room. They're the person that will make your heart smile, make you laugh. You want to be around this energy. It's solar. It's solar light, and we get charged from it. So back to this new moon, like when the moon comes to the sun, it gets charged by the sun, which is why after this new moon, it waxes, it grows in its radiance. And so this new moon hitting the waxing moon, the phrase I come back to is my reggae roots of the conquering lion, the conquering lioness. And in particular, it is very feminine because with the alignments of this moon, we are healing feminine energy on a very powerful way. I'll get to it. It has to do with Venus and Black Moon Lilith. But again, this new moon with the sun and the moon are together in Leo at 23 degrees. It's like a conquering feeling of stepping up onto the rock, to feel that, to let that heart shine, to let that soul shine. It's a conquering, stepping into power, conquering fear, conquering regret, conquering the past, conquering limitations. This is what we're doing so that we can have enough strength and courage and fortitude and conviction to move forward, to keep going. And so this moon is basically at 23 degrees. It's exactly squaring Uranus at 23 degrees Taurus. Uranus is the ruling planet of Aquarius. So when you see Uranus, you just got to think lightning bolt and you got to think Aquarian energy. It's rebellious. It's about individuation. It's about the unique within the collective. It's about wisdom and freedom and the development of our extrasensory system through a healthy, strong nervous system. On top of that square to Uranus, we have the conjunction to Black Moon Lilith at 24 degrees. And Black Moon Lilith in Leo is like, Black Moon Lilith represents the feminine passion, the feminine desires. It also represents feminine empowerment. It can also represent feminine wounds. And we all have them, men and women. Doesn't matter your gender or your sex or it does not matter. It's about that we all contain this feminine and masculine energy, the ability to give and receive, penetrate, receive. So with this new moon, though, so back to this new moon in Uranus, like specifically with Uranus squaring this new moon exactly at 23 degrees Taurus, it is reminiscent of the total solar eclipse that occurred in 2017, in August of 2017. It was where the total solar eclipse was visible for the first time in some 30 years from the United States. And some of you probably saw it exactly. A powerful moment. Wherever you were in that plane on the United States, we could see this eclipse for the first time in many years. And it happened at where the sun and the moon were together at 28 degrees Leo. The north node, which is what makes it an eclipse, was at 24 degrees Leo. Same position as Black Moon Lilith for this new moon. And then trine to this total solar eclipse in 2017 was Uranus at 28 degrees Aries. It's a square now, 23 degrees Taurus, which means it's waxing. Uranus is waxing from this eclipse moment from 2017. So you can look back to maybe some of the things that were making you unique and individuate yourself to find that internal electricity and individuation, that freedom, and that internal wisdom and rebelliousness, that rebellious nature that wants you to be who you are. It's a beautiful thing. It's about freedom and wisdom through the senses. It was being activated through this total solar eclipse in 2017, and we've waxed to a square now where we have to reassess our approach and either lean in or pull back from what those intentions were from 2017. It's so deep, y'all. On top of that, during that eclipse, the fixed star Regulus was at 29 degrees Leo, which they consider Regulus the heart of the lion, the heart of the constellation of Leo, which very much represents that brave heart, that courage and strength and love, like ultimate love from the heart of the lion, the ultimate brave heart, courageous brave heart, lion heart energy on this eclipse. So again, we are waxing from that now. So the question is can we become the conquering lion, the conquering lioness? Can we step into our power on a whole nother level, to come to a regal state, to come to a driven and fierce, unshakable state where we can empower ourselves, where we can metabolize and work with our passions and our desires in a way where we can actually manifest them, materialize them with that Taurus energy. We want to show up. This is the time for showing up. And I've been saying it for years, but the universe right now more than ever wants us to show our work. It's not enough to say 2 + 2 is 4. You got to show your work. No matter how simple the equation feels to you in your mindset, your embodiment is the showing of the work. And that's how we do it. We've got to come with that heart-centered energy, that fierce heart-centered energy, the will to go, the will to achieve, and to be ourselves authentically. So take that. That's just the new moon. Like I said, this Venus conjunct the sun. As I record this, it's happening, and it's still happening. It's waning a little bit, but from that new moon, but it's still it's still conjunct. So this Venus coming to the sun is like the new moon. Venus coming close to the sun is like a new moon in that they're conjuncting the sun. So again, the Venus energy, the Venusian qualities are being charged to wax from the sun, just like a new moon would do. And so this solar charging moment is reflected in our values, in our heart-centered morality, in the things that we love and appreciate, the things we find meaning in. This particular Venus Cazimi is happening where Venus goes behind the sun, but it's still being charged. And so it's a little more subtle. It's a little more internal and reflective through this retrograde. And so we want to tune into what are my most highest standards and values? What are my heart-centered morals that I'm ready to stand by and be heart-centered in my mission to become who I am. And again, we're like rebirthing our understanding around this balance between our masculine and feminine energy. We're revaluing the masculine and feminine energy and understanding, take this time to understand when to give, when to receive, how to push, how to pull, how to take the feedback, how to use the energy in a powerful way. This is what we're learning. This is what we want to do to become this balance in the masculine and feminine. We become divine humans, light humans. And so this Venus Cazimi is beautiful and it'll continue. Venus conjuncts the moon after that. And then it can, and then we have the new moon. But then even before this new moon, so I'm going backwards in time. It's weird, but I started at the new moon, which takes place on the 16th. And then I jumped to the 13th of August for that Cazimi, which again, this is all trailing for days. So it doesn't matter when you listen, it's happening in this moment. if you're listening in this couple weeks. But anyhow, so then on the 15th of August, which is a really powerful day for me, and it's a Mary Ascension day. It has a lot to do. There's a huge, powerful alignment for me with the Blessed Mother on this day. There's another date on December, but besides the point, like on the 15th of August, we have Black Moon Lilith becoming conjunct with the sun. Once again, hitting like a new moon moment where it's becoming charged. It's getting a solar charge. Black Moon Lilith is the rebellious feminine energy. Black Moon Lilith was kicked out of the Garden of Eden, so to speak, for her rebellious nature. I'm not going to get into all that. You can look up the mythology for yourself. There's plenty of layers to it. But what I will say is that on an archetypical level, in astrological perspective, when I see Black Moon Lilith, I automatically think about feminine passion and desire, feminine rebelliousness, and also feminine wounds. They always say that like Black Moon Lilith was kicked out of the garden and had to go into the underworld. And even Venus retrograde, they say when Venus goes retrograde and is not seen in the sky, they say Venus is in the underworld. And I'm just kind of like, you know what? Blow your underworld. I don't know about it. I just don't know about it. I feel like underworld, really, is being charged by the sun, you know? And yeah, so we can't see it, but there's like a powerful charging moment happening. There's a solar, energetic, reconnecting moment in these times when they're near the sun. So underworld, my whatever. But anyways, there's my feminine wounds coming. It's like, yeah, they want to kick the feminine energy into the underworld. Of course they do, And so back to this healing it, it's like, it's actually where the feminine gets the power by being kicked into the underworld or being not seen because the solar energy is more powerful, that penetrative energy is more powerful, then that's where this feminine energy finds its power in its receptivity. It learns to become fulfilled through that masculine energy, through that penetrative energy of the solar light, of the power of the sun. It learns the power of receptivity when it's in these phases. So I don't think it's the underworld. That's my opinion. But so anyways, Black Moon Lilith conjuncting the sun. You'll probably feel yourself like rebel yelling a little bit. It's a beautiful thing. And that's kind of the point, is like back to this idea of everybody's so unique and everybody has their own experiences with these rhythms, and you should have your own experience, because it's not enough to be told or to see these Gregorian calendar dates where there's portals and this and that. Like, I get the numerical relationship, but like, seriously, every day is sacred and beautiful if you're breathing and you're alive. And that's the true nature of this solar energy, this lioness, lion energy. The conquering lion is recognizing the power and the beauty of the moment, of today, of the now. To not be looking for magical exits or magical leaps and bounds, although they're around us. It's really understanding that power is there whenever we need it. It's a constant thing, like the sun. That we can count on the rhythm of the sun when we understand where it is in its cycle. If you understand that it's the middle of the day and the sun will be setting soon, you can count on it. You can count on that sun rising again. These are powerful things to understand as a human on Earth. And when we harmonize with this, when we recognize that wax or that wane, the energy is there for us to use and grow and build and manifest, or where the energy feels like it's pulling back, to be graceful enough to allow it, to allow ourselves to pull back. And this is the true embodiment. This is the heart-centered embodiment in balancing that receptivity and that projectivity to really feel this presentness, this conquering our fears and being present in the moment. And all this Uranus energy, this energy with Uranus trining the eclipse in 2017 and squaring this new moon that's coming up. It might be a square, but I'm telling you, it is waxing. It's growing. So to me, it is the rise of electricity, the rise of energy and power and individuation of our creative force, our regal nature. It's high time, y'all, to be super empowered and present, to be focused enough to jump and to move with prowess and grace when called, when the energy is set and aligned to do so, and to realize that flow of energy as it's receding, to calm down, to be graceful and present and patient with that receding, receptive energy. To have enough clarity and calmness in the nervous system to observe through the senses, all the senses, to become extrasensory so that we can tune into our environment, to understand the rhythmic nature of the elements, of the animals, of the beings that are around us. Yeah. Because the truth is like, if we could harmonize with the flow of energy and if we could nurture the flow of energy, we would really be able to understand our true power, our true nature, and use that energy wisely to be the light that we came here to be, to heal our environment, to be a living example of the true grace of what it means to be a human, a light being on earth. You want to be a light being. We're all stars. And, we want to harmonize with this flow so that we can use the energy wisely, to receive that flow of love, to receive that energy. We can be healed by it. We can be fulfilled by it. Fill your cup. Let it overflow. And then give it back. And be willing to receive again. And know that this wax and this wane, this giving and receiving occurs over and over and over again. And it's just about us tuning into the rhythm of that. Just like an inhale and an exhale. Receiving as we inhale, exhaling as we give. Yeah. So graceful. So powerful. It's a powerful time to be alive. It's a powerful time to be alive, no doubt. And like I said, this is the rise of the electric feminine energy. Let's heal this. Let's heal this energy. Let's see if we can be strong enough in our nervous system and brave enough in our hearts to actually channel more energy. Like I was talking about last week with the Jupiter stuff. It's like expand your field, open your system and your field up enough to receive more, to give more. If you've got if you've got it, like not everybody has it. You do what's best for you. But I'm telling you, we want to move more energy. We want to get fuller and more circulative in our own energy source. It doesn't have anything to do with like putting out into the world. It's just about using the breath and the rhythm of the moment to take in the energy, to give it back, and to be so anchored and grounded in our presence. This is true core calibration. It's working that toroidal field. And that's what the earth is doing. That's what the sun is doing. It's what all planetary bodies are doing. Celestial bodies are, everybody's got a magnetic field, an energetic field. And it's just a matter of how we're using this energy, how we're giving and receiving that energy through that field. So it's time to get really graceful and regal about it, to step into our prowess, to feel that our uniqueness in the collective and let our soul shine, to feel heart-centered and grounded in gravity, yet receptive to the extrasensory feedback we're being given. And with a little faith, fortitude, commitment, and a brave heart. And of course, love. Love above all. Love above all. We can conquer our fears. We can have the courage to keep going. We can be. We can feel that empowerment that comes from conquering and being so graceful in the moment and healing. Let it fill your cup. May it overflow. Give, receive, receive. Be yourself. Let your soul shine. And know I'm so grateful for you. Because I'm doing it and you're doing it. And then the more of us that are doing it, the better off we'll all be. We're just going to keep growing this mass consciousness around this vibe. So thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you. I've got so much love and respect for you, for doing the work, for being present on this planet right now, for being a light, for being that human being, for letting your love light shine and becoming that conquering lion or lioness, conquering lioness. Yes. Blessings and love, y'all. Peace. Last thing, I did want to let y'all know I got a Living in Rhythm immersion. You can check it out on the website at livinginrhythm.com. But I'm doing a little one-on-one work with folks. There's a little package on there that you can buy that is a commitment for yourself to help you. I'll work with you to help you personalize, customize your practice so that you can harmonize and soul sync with the cosmos and tune in to your calibrated core. Start living in rhythm in your own unique way, because that's what this time is about. So once again, hit me up if you want a sesh, or if you want to do that little Living in Rhythm immersion, hit me up, let me know. Otherwise, I'll be here doing what I'm doing, holding steady, letting my heart be strong, letting my soul shine. I'll carry on. So again, thanks so much for tuning in. I appreciate you. Much, much love, blessings, protection, guidance. Yes, bless. Peace.